For as long as I can remember, I've always wanted to work in digital marketing. Getting paid well, working remotely, and doing something truly fulfilling. It's what I've always dreamed about. But I've always had one problem. I didn't know where to start. How do I learn it? How do I get a job? These thoughts haunt me day and night.
Hey, are you okay?
Yeah, why?
Well, you've been looking out the window for like a week already.
Okay, that was a little over the top, but if you've always wanted to learn digital marketing, in this video, I'll show you how I learned digital marketing in 2 months and landed a job without ever studying it in school. And if we haven't met yet, I'm Alif, and I've broken into digital marketing without any connections, education, or experience. I've worked a while now in this industry, so let me walk you through how I broke into digital marketing. Here is my story. Okay, so picture this. I'm in my first big boy corporate job straight out of university, and I'm typing away at my keyboard, and all of a sudden, I get a ring on my phone. And I look over at my phone, and it's basically my admissions advisor from York University. And I was a little stressed, like, why is the admission advisor from York University calling me? And so I took my phone and I hid into a breakout room where no one could hear me, and I took the call. And then the admission advisor on the other end said, "Hi, is this Alif?" I'm like, "Yeah, this is Alif. What's up?" And they were like, "Alif, we regret to inform you something very unfortunate." And I was like, "Oh shoot, what's happening?" And they're like, well, "You actually failed your human resource certification." You see, back in university, I studied psychology, a Bachelor of Arts in Psychology, and a certificate in HR, Human Resources. However, because I was so good at networking and everything on LinkedIn, I ended up getting my HR job without needing the certificate. So it was kind of weird. I was on the call with her, and they're like, "I'm sorry, you failed your certificate." But at the same time, I was like, yeah, but does it really matter though? Because I'm taking this call from an HR job, so... And can you imagine how the rest of my day went? Pretty bad. Why? Because, truth be told, I kind of hated that job. In fact, it was so tedious. I hated waking up Monday mornings to go to work, and a job I really wanted to get out of. I realized, okay, if I wanted to get out of this job, I need to make an escape plan. You see, I was working in HR, specifically recruiting, so in my mind, I was like, why don't I help people find jobs? Because I was working in recruiting, I was interviewing people, I was looking through resumes, so I knew a thing or two about the job search, especially on the back end of things. And so I started a career coaching business. Now, what's interesting is, as I started growing my business, I inevitably had to learn digital marketing. I started learning things like how to do email marketing, how to set up landing pages, how to do convert rate optimizations, how to do email nurture sequences. But as I kept learning how to grow this career coaching business, I started falling in love with the digital marketing side of the business. So in my full-time job, instead of working, I would literally spend hours reading blogs like Joanna Weep's Copy Hacker and Neville Medora's copywriting course, HubSpot, Unbounce, all these blogs, right? These marketing blogs. I would study during work, technically reading all these blogs, and then after work, I would start executing on these different ideas. So when 6 o'clock rolled around and it was time to finish work, instead of going home, I actually went to a university cafeteria nearby. And I went into the cafeteria and I would literally spend hours and hours there applying what I learned during my job into my career coaching business. Do that on and on and on for a few months until I started really learning digital marketing. And one day I was sitting at work and I was like, wait, why am I working in human resource? I should work in marketing, because obviously during my full-time job, I'm literally reading about marketing, so it doesn't make sense that I work in marketing. So at that point on, I knew I wanted to work in digital marketing. But again, I didn't have the connections, education, or experience, or anything of that matter to even get a job in marketing. Hell, I didn't even know what a marketing company does. And so I was like, I gotta prove myself in some way. So I made a YouTube video where I optimized a landing page for a marketing agency. And I sent over that YouTube video to one of the hiring managers in the company. And the hiring manager was like, yo, I love this so much. And eventually I ended up getting a job with that company. Now I'll break this down a little further, but before I get to that, I wanna pause for a second. So here's the thing, okay? I speak to a lot of aspiring digital marketers, and they always come to me and they're like, Alif, where do I start? How do I begin? The whole thing feels overwhelming. I have no idea what is step one? And I always tell them this one thing. Your step one should be to learn the practical skills of digital marketing if you want to break into the industry. For example, for me, I learned the practical skill of copywriting. So I was able to make a YouTube video where I demonstrated that skill to a hiring manager. They liked me and I got a job. That wouldn't have happened. The job wouldn't have happened if I didn't know the skill of digital marketing. Now, you can do this yourself, kind of like what I did, but oftentimes that can be really hard for three main reasons. First is you don't have like a practical use case to apply your learnings to, and because you're not practicing it, you're not really learning it, right? So that's one of the problems. Second is there's no one guiding you and telling you if you're doing it the right way or the wrong way. And the third thing is that there's no one telling you day one learn this, day two learn this, day three learn this. So if you don't have that self-discipline and accountability to yourself, it's gonna be hard to learn digital marketing on your own. If trying to teach yourself digital marketing on your own feels a little intimidating, then doing an online self-paced course with Course Careers makes sense for you. If I were to start over my digital marketing career from scratch, the first thing I sign up for would be an online course program like Course Careers. Course Careers is an online program that'll teach you the practical skill of digital advertising. What is digital advertising? You know when you scroll through the internet and you keep seeing ads everywhere? That's digital advertising, and Course Careers will teach you that practical skill. Here's what I love about them. They offer a free introductory course that you can check out. They have extremely high reviews on Course Report and Career Karma. They give you practical homework so you can practice digital advertising yourself. And compared to paying for tuition, which would cost you $20,000 at least, Course Careers is a lot more affordable at just $500 or 4 monthly payments of $150. And if this sounds like a good fit for you, I'll link to them below down in the description of this video where they'll offer you their free introductory course. And if you end up deciding to purchase the course soon, you'll get $50 off. Check out my link down below in the description of this video. At this point, you know the importance of learning the practical skill of digital marketing. You learned how I personally learned digital marketing myself through reading these blogs and applying it to my career coaching business, or you can use an online course program like Course Careers. And now let's talk a little more about how I actually got the job. So here's the thing, when it comes to getting a job, most people think you just apply online and then you just wait for an interview, right? You just apply, waiting for an interview. But there's a fundamental problem to that. The problem is, first of all, you don't have much experience, connections, or education in digital marketing. So compared to everyone who applies to the same job as you, you're not gonna be as qualified as them and they'll stand out over you. So that's a problem. Second of all, there's literally thousands of people applying to that same job that you're applying to, so the odds of you even landing the job in the first place is going to be very low. And lastly, at least during these times, a lot of tech companies are laying off a lot of people. So that means highly qualified people from big jobs are being let go, and they're applying for the same jobs as you. So how do you get past this whole online application, competing against thousands of people for that same job, and instead get past them and get the job itself? Well, it's through landing a referral. If you don't know what a referral is, it's when someone internal in the company, they have a job opening and the person is like, hey, I know someone good for the job. Here's their resume, gives it to the recruiter gets them the job, right? It's a referral system. How does it actually work in real life? Well, as an example, I'll walk you through what I personally did. Okay, so I'm about to break down to you exactly how I broke into digital marketing, but keep in mind that I'm gonna walk you through it in a very high level, right? If you want the nitty-gritty details with screenshots and conversations and everything, I made a very detailed video outlining this exact process. I'll link it down in the description of this video. I was working in my HR job and I knew I wanted to get out. So the first thing I did was make a list of the top marketing agencies in Toronto because I knew I wanted to work at a small marketing agency because I felt like I can learn a lot in a marketing agency. I made a list and I came across one company. They're called Candy Box Marketing. And so I went on their website and I was like, yo, they have a cool vibe to this place. I want to work for them. So what I did next was I went on LinkedIn and I found out and I searched up the company on LinkedIn and I searched up who worked at the company on LinkedIn. And I came across Mahfouz, who was one of the managers at the company. And I was like, oh, this guy seems like he has a lot of say in terms of the hiring. And now I knew who to target, but I needed to get him to like me and show him that I'm very qualified for a marketing role, like an entry-level marketing role. And so I did a little research and I found out that he has a podcast and a book. I listened to some of the episodes in the podcast, I skimmed his book and everything, and I got a really good feel for what he's all about. And so I reached out to him. I basically said, hey Mahfouz, I love the podcast and your book and what you're all about. I find it very relatable. Can I ask for a brief 15-minute call for some career advice? We had a really fun time in the call. He gave me some really good advice and we had a rapport going on. Like we enjoyed each other's vibe. And then I found out like, oh, his company is hiring for an entry-level marketing role. And I was like, okay, I really need to like stand out here because there's a lot of people applying for these roles. And so what I did was I went on their website and I found out they had a page on their website where they were promoting a workshop, but the words on that website page wasn't optimized. And I was like, hey, I can write a better version of this. So I did that. I opened Microsoft Word and I rewrote the entire page for them. Then I got my webcam out, I hit record, and I walked the viewer of the video through why I would make the change that I did on that page. I got the link to the video, put it up on YouTube, and sent it over to Mahfouz. He was really, really impressed. I ended up getting an interview at the company, and I guess because I worked in recruiting, I understood interviews, I passed the interviews, and got my first marketing job. And there you have it, my friend, how I broke into digital marketing with no experience, connection, education, and how I learned digital marketing in just a couple of months. If you're interested in more content like this, feel free to check out my free courses down below in the description of this video. And of course, check out Course Careers if you want to learn the practical skill of digital advertising yourself. With that being said, my friend, I'll see you in the next video. Peace, peace, peace.